Okay, with this video, I'm going to show you how you're going to create, there it is, you're going to create detail 1 from section A. Okay, so let's get started with that. Okay, so here I am in paper space now. Okay, I have created the viewport for the framing plan, and that viewport is on depth points, right, non-plot layer, and it has a viewport scale of 1/4 of an inch, which it should have. Good. I've also created a viewport for section A. Okay. And that viewport has a scale of 1/2 of an inch equals a foot. That's good. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to create another viewport, and I'm looking for my depth point layer. There it is. You can find it. Okay, depth point. Okay. And I'm going to create another viewport for detail 1. All right, so let's go to layout. Let's go to rectangular. Okay, rectangular viewport. I'm just going to come here, turn my F3 off for a second. Okay. Good. So now I'm going to activate the viewport and zero in on section A. Okay. Okay. Now the viewport scale for detail 1 is 1.5 inches equals a foot. Pardon me. Okay, so let's get that 1.5 inches. Good. So you see how that expanded the viewport. I can't really do that. Okay, let's get it back to 1.5 inches. Good. So now I'm going to hold my mouse button down. I'm going to pan, but I'm not going to roll it back and forth, because if I do that, it's going to change the scale. So there we go. That's what I want. Right about there. Even down somewhere, because I want to add that note to the top. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and lock the viewport right there at that. Good. So now I'll go back to the home tab and see what my, okay, good. So my current layer is depth points, which is good. All right. So now when I zoom into section A, okay, I don't want to see this text at 1.5 inches that I added, right? I don't want to see that in this viewport. So what I want to do, I want to activate the viewport. Okay, then I'm going to come up here to the these layer tools here. Okay, and I'm going to choose freeze. And it's asking me to select the object on the layer to be frozen. So I'm going to select this. Good. Now, the reason why it did both of them is because I put them all on one layer, but they shouldn't be. The notes should be on 0003, and the dimension should be on, the note should be on note 003, and the dimensions should be on dims 003. Okay, but you get the concept, right? This is how you can control the visibility of objects from one viewport to the next. Okay. All right, so let's just skip out of that. So now when I come down to the detail here, okay, I don't want to see this dimension line right there, because that dimension line is this dimension line of section A. I don't want to see it. So what I'm going to do, same thing. I'm going to activate the viewport, and then I'm going to come up here to freeze, and it's asking me what object do I want to freeze out of this layer, and I'm this viewport, and I'm going to choose this one. Good. All right. So now, and of course, you know, as you have added the other notes to the detail one, the welding symbol or the other notes on 003, that's how you're going to control it. Okay. But as we go back to model space, okay. Okay. Oh, how interesting. As we go back to model space, we see that we didn't create two separate drawings, right? It's the same drawing for section A and this detail, same drawing. That's the part I want you to get. Okay. Let's see if we can add something else, okay? All right, so let's go back to paper space, okay? Good. I've locked my layers. That's good. Pardon me, I've locked my viewports. So I can activate them, move in and out, but it doesn't change doesn't change the scale nor the position. That's good. So they should be locked. All right. So we're going to create the main titles like we did before. Okay. I'm just going to show you how to do them again. All right. So we have a main title under the framing plan that's is plan 1. It's framing plan, and the scale is 1/4 of an inch equals a foot. So we're going to do like we did before. We're going to go to Tools. We're going to go to the Content Browser. Okay. And then we're going to go back one layer. After we do this, go back one level, that is. Let's go to callouts. Let's go to detail marks now. Okay, and we chose mark A2. Okay, we're going to insert it right in paper space. Okay. I think, well, let's see what line. Let's start with this side. We can always change it. Okay. First point, second point, enter, and cancel out. Oh, worked perfectly. All right. So our attributable. So our read number is 1. Okay, our sheet number is S-101. Okay, we're going to OK out of that. Good. Now we can delete this line right here. Let's delete this line. Then we're going to go to annotate tab. Okay, we're going to come up here. We're going to go to our callouts here, and we're going to choose this title mark right here. Okay. It's asking for the first part of the line, F3 on. Okay, and the second part. Okay, good. Then we can, let's just choose this. Okay, got that in there. Okay, let's just take this point, this grip here, and move it over 1/4 of an inch. Good, that's good. All right, and then we can do attributes here. Okay, and the title is framing plan, all caps. Now, if framing plan looks different than the sample drawing, it's because it actually is a different font. But I'm not going to change the font. We're going to stay with this font. Okay, that's why it may look a little different in terms of height. Okay, and then now we're going to change our scale. Okay. Yes, scale colon 1/4 of an inch equals 1 foot, 0 inches. Is that right? That looks good. Okay. Now, we want to put all of this on. Let's just put all of this on the SNO note layer. Okay, good. Now, what we can do, okay, and let's make that current layer. Let's make that, yeah, SNO, okay, that's my current layer. So what we can do now, we can delete this line right here. Guess what? And then we can just do the line tool, okay, and draw another line, and we can end it exactly where we want to end it. Just like that. Okay. All right. So when you have one, okay, you can go ahead and create the others. We know we're going to need another viewport here for section B. Add a 1/2 inch to the foot scale. We're going to need another viewport down here for section C. Add 1.5 inches. Okay. And we're going to need another viewport here for the plan detail. Now, okay, you need to, speaking of the plan detail, you need to create another layer, okay, for DEMS and dimensions. You need to create SNO DEMS 004 and SNO Note 004 because the plan detail is at a different scale. It's 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And you're going to put the annotation, the notes of the plan detail. You don't have any dimensions, but we made the layer anyway. You don't have any dimensions, but you do have notes for the plan detail too. Okay. At 3/4 of an inch. That annotation will be placed on SNO Note 004. Okay. All righty. Let me pause for 1 second here. Okay, I paused to make a second look, to take a second look at the sample drawing. Okay, good. So now in paper space, just to reiterate, we have the framing plan, having a viewport scale of 1/4 of an inch. Okay, annotation scale in paper space also being 1/4. Okay. I showed you how to do most of the call outs. I didn't show you how to do this one, but if you can do, pardon me, if you can do these two, you can definitely do that one. Okay, good. And then we have a separate viewport for section A and a separate viewport for section B. Okay. These viewports, of course, are at 1/2 inch. So that means when you go to annotate them in model space, you have to change the annotation scale to 1/2 inch equals a foot for both A and B, okay? Then you're going to create a viewport for detail 1, which is taken directly from section A. This viewport scale is 1.5 inches equals a foot. So all of the annotation for here, the dimensions and the notes, you're going to place them on 003. 003. Okay. Section C has the same annotation scale, so all this annotation here goes on 003. Okay. And then lastly, of course, after you create this viewport. And then lastly, you're going to create this plan detail in model space, right? In model space. So let's talk about that. Separate drawing in model space for section A. Separate drawing for section B in model space. Not a separate drawing for detail 1 because it's actually included in section A. We're just changing the viewport scale. Okay. A separate drawing for section C and a separate drawing for the plan detail. Okay, good. Now, back to the plan detail. Okay, we don't have any dimensions, but you're going to put all this annotation here on what is 004. Okay, 004. All right, and then that leaves the as I move this out of my way, that leaves the general notes, which we're going to do, which you're going to actually draw on paper space. Okay, and we can just put that, put those on the S anno note layer, S anno note. Okay, S anno note for the general notes. Okay, as a review. Okay, and of course, then you're going to fill out the title block. Please fill out the title block correctly, because if you don't, I'm going to take out points for that. Okay, so let's go back to AutoCAD. Okay. All right. I haven't shown all the viewports, but I just covered it. Now, I want you to make sure. That the viewports are locked, right? Locked. Okay, at the proper scale. And of course, we just added this main title. All you gotta do is copy it to the other viewports and change the information. And lastly, this is no longer the 24×36 title block. You need to rename it. You name it here to the commercial framing plan. If you don't do this, I'm going to take out points for it. Okay, so the layout should always be renamed to reflect the content of the drawing. Okay, so with that, you should have what you need. If you have any questions, please email me.